Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Lekutei Sichos, Pasha Aleph, Pasha Vayikra. It's a very avodadik sicha. It's very good and geschmack and interesting, and yeah, we'll see. This sicha is based on something very fundamental. The Bachrim, especially when they start the learning experience in Chassidus, when they go to like Mesifta, very many times they start learning a very famous Maimon of the Alter Rebbe that we're going to talk about, bringing the Nefesh Bahamis and connecting the Nefesh Bahamis and bringing up. Unfortunately, I know for many people don't understand it properly or whatever the reason is, but they don't get it and they don't appreciate what I have. What there is to offer, and what is this telling us? What are we being told? So to here, in this example, we'll see how you have to understand what's going on. Otherwise, you get lost or you go in the wrong direction and you take it wrong. Like I used to have a ring many times with a guy that he used to say, basically, the Chassidus tells you you're nobody, and a lot of people say that. And when I was growing up, when I'm in yeshiva, that's sort of the feeling you got. That all these levels we talk about and all these things are like way above and beyond. Nothing connected with me. I'm not shy to these things. And I'm just a bad, not good person. And I have to have bittul, which means I'm a nobody. So we're going to learn in the next few days this Sirah, and we'll see in the right direction. We'll see the right way. That's the reality. And maybe if we remember, we'll show how people get confused and why they're a little confused. And this is not how it's meant to be. And with that, let's begin. Okay. Paschilas Pasha Vayikra. I'm beginning the Pasha Vayikra, Pasha's Karbanos, which is called the Pasha of Karbanos. But that's what we start talking about, the Karbanos. Nemar, it says in the pasuk, and this is a very famous question of Chassidus. Adam ki Yaakov mikem kavan lavai. A person when so the pasuk is very interesting. It says an Adam, a person ki Yaakov, when they will bring mikem from you a carbon to Hashem. When a person will bring from you a carbon to Hashem. So in move on seemingly it's not understood. If it's just the simple meaning that when a person brings a carbon, mikem, so what is the mikem? Could you just say Adam ki Yaakov carbon lavai, when a person brings a carbon to Hashem? So why do you say when a person brings from you a carbon to Hashem? So muzba lamila Adam, the mikem is talking about from you, meaning who's the you? That Adam we say in the pasuk. Because the pasuk says Adam ki Yaakov mikem carbon Hashem. So the mikem is referring to that Adam. Kaleimar Adam mikem ki Yaakov, meaning a person mikem from you. A lot of times people translate it when a person from among you bring a carbon. It should be a person from you who brings. Why do I say a person who brings from you? So I do Adam Kiyak Mikem. And that's sort of the question. This brings about this question a lot. It's a very interesting lashon, a very confusing language. It could have been much simpler. Like we said, it could have just been a person when he comes to bring, a person from you when he comes to bring, but why a person comes to bring from you? So you do now, that's understood what it says in connection with this. So the kavanah kan hu gam lahasbir satoichna ruch nishal karbanos. And this what Chassidus brings out that of course the pasuk is not mistaken, of course, but it's coming to show us something deep. And Chassidus shows us it's coming to show us something in a spiritual sense. In regards to the avodah, bringing the carbon within the person. So as we've said many times, and as you see here, everything in Torah is something to be thought about in terms of our connection with Hashem in our lives. We see it straight away again very clearly. Even the karbanos we learn about, they also apply to us and within ourselves. So what does it mean? Yadua, Hadgasha, Sharazal. So it's known the stress, what the rabbi stressed in the pasuk. It says, It's a very famous vart that it says, we should make me a sanctuary. Then Hashem tells the Yidden that you should make for me a sanctuary, and I'll dwell in them. What does it mean in them? There's only one Mishkan. In the desert, that one Mishkan. So why does it say when a person brings, why does it say it should make for me a sanctuary, I dwell within them? What's them? Plural. There's no plural. There's only one Mishkan. So the idea is it's talking about within us, our own Mishkan. And there's many. I have my Mishkan, you have your Mishkan, and everyone has their own Mishkan. So Mikan, moving this understood, he called Havodas, Shahayu Kayim as the Mishkan, or Mikdash Agashi, everything that existed in the Mishkan and the Mikdash, physically, like the Karbanos, Kayamas, Gam Buchinas Ruchnis, also has it in a spiritual sense. The Mikdash Ruchni, Animzam Bechal Echmisam, the spiritual Mikdash within all of us. And the Rebbe is showing these 2 points. This question about bringing the carbon is essentially a question about the Mishkan. But we're taking the second idea, which is we should make me sanctuaries dwell within them, which means we all have a mikdash. So if we all have a mikdash, so we all have bringing a carbon. That's what we're saying here. So we have to understand what does it mean to bring a carbon. Meaning, like I said, everything we have to understand how it means within us. So they're saying the proof, we can even prove this idea that it must be talking about us, because the whole Mishkan is talking about us. Because like it says, Vasli Midash Vashani B'Seicham. Which makes me a sanctuary to dwell within them, meaning we all have a Mishkan. And if we all have a Mishkan, just so everything that we learn from the Mishkan, we can also learn within ourselves. That's so too with all the Avedas in the Mishkan. And even more so in regards to the Karbanis that are brought in the Mishkan. Even our physical body, our Mikdash, even the Mikdash itself, not ours, but the physical Mikdash, even though in the bringing the karbanos was a physical thing, you bring a physical animal, and a physical mizbeach, with a physical fire, and a physical shechting, but it's all also at the same time was spiritual. And the Rebbe says, therefore, Mishum Haisa Durusha Bishas a carbon, therefore it was required at the time of being the carbon, because it's such a spiritual thing. Hishtatfus, Hakoyanim, Vaidasam, the Koyanim working with their Vaida, doing their part in it, Alavim, Shum, Zim, and Lavim singing songs and praises. The Vayim Shehem Ruchnim, which are all spiritual things. So clearly, even in the physical Mizbeach, bringing the physical Karbanos is also spirituality already infused within it. And therefore, for sure, also within ourselves, we have these aspects. And now, B'zayah says, Nazaya, Tekahanim, B'chashoy, Uvir Usa, Deliboy. That the Kohen was like quiet, but the Ratzon in the Lev, he needed to have the right Kavanah when he was doing it. Which is the same idea as Amshacha, drawing down from above to below. And the Levim, Shiur Zimra, Bechinas Allah Milamatal Mail, and Levim is from below to above. Like we've seen in, I think last week we saw this, and a few times we've seen it already. This idea, and we'll talk a little bit more today, that below to above and above to below. There was the spiritual aspect of the Koyanim, which is coming from above to below, bringing down godliness from below, and then the Avodah of the Levim, which is from below to above, which is our Avodah, coming from above to below to above. Now, here is a for Avodah Karbanos Gam Mikdash. Avodah Ruchni is being that in the Avodah the Karbanos in the physical Mizbeach was also spiritual, like we just said. For sure, within us, in our carbon, in our Mizbeach and our Mishkan, we have this spiritually. I mean, we don't have to, within our own Avodah, we don't have to bring Karbanos physically and shechts, animals. When we bring up to Al Mizbeach, what's Al Mizbeach? So he's saying this whole concept applies for us in a spiritual sense. And he's saying, for sure it does, because even in Mizbeach itself, the physical one, they had a spiritual aspect to it. It wasn't just physicality, it was also spirituality. So it's within ourselves, for sure there's the whole spiritual aspect. And spiritual doesn't mean in the mountains, but it means working on ourselves. So as far as a pasuk, so now let's understand this pasuk again of Adam ki yakim yikem kol havai. that we had this question. Now let's understand this according to what we just explained. And Alter explains like this. Hikach Adam ki yakrim, when a person, when he will bring, meaning, what does it mean a person when he will bring? Meaning, meaning when we want to connect to Hashem, like the pasuk says, Adam ki yakrim, when a person ki yakrim, when he comes close, wants to come close, the whole purpose of the Karbana is bringing ourselves close to Hashem, our talents and our abilities, bringing ourselves close. Like it says in the pasuk, "Mikem karban lavaya." From you is the carbon to Avayim. See, the pasuk says, "Adam ki yakriv, mikem karban Hashem." So the way we understood in the beginning, and we had this question, it says, "When a person, when they will bring from you a carbon to Hashem." The Alter was teaching like this: when a person, when he wants to come close, ki as in not is as in when Yaakov, they want to come close. When you want to come close to Hashem, what do you need? Mikem carbon lavai. It has to come from you. We have nothing outside of us. We don't have to run away somewhere. We don't have to do something else. We have to realize it's all within us. We have the ability to come close to Hashem. And as we're going to learn later on in the Sikha, that we might feel that we're far away, far distance. But this is exactly what we're teaching ourselves. This is what the pasuk is teaching us. You're not too far. You're not far away. It's all depend on you. You can do it. You could have distanced yourself, or as Menachem in Breslov says, if you believe you can destroy, you have to believe you can also fix. And that's what we're saying here. That's not exactly what we're saying. What we're saying here, we're showing, is that we have to realize that we have the ability within ourselves to come close to Hashem. Come from ourselves. We don't have to run away from ourselves. We don't have to say, I wish there was someone else. It's not true. It's all us within our ability. Let's jump right into it. So this idea of coming close, and this is a fundamental, beautiful idea that we're going to learn, it's from ourselves. Mikem, carbon. So there's 2 points to this. One of them is mikem, meaning carbon. You have nefesh b'lekish v'adam. You have the carbon of nefesh b'lekish, the nefesh b'lekish part of the person, that godly part of the person, from you. That's the you. That's the true you. And then you have mina behema. Then you have, like it says in the pasuk, mikem carbon lavai mina hina min bakim atzayin hakiros kavarchem. So the pasuk also talks about animals. What's his animal? Of course. And the animal that's found within the heart of a person, which is nefesh bahamis. So the carbon that we bring is both the help of the nefesh lakis and using the nefesh bahamis. The kesh lakach nema behemshach pasuk. Continuation of the pasuk, it says mina baka mina tzayin, from the sheep and from the cattle. Elu prate hadagish nefesh bahamis. These are different levels of nefesh bahamis. In the mind of the Alter Rebbe, he explains different types of nefesh bahamis. There's a nefesh bahamis that's the shur nagach. It's the goring ox. So a person is rough, and they speak in a rough language, and they push people, not even necessarily physically, but spiritually, and just like where they speak, they're in kebaron. And there's people that are more docile, like a sheep, and the shipsela. We have different types of nefesh bahamis. If you adav muzba b'toich chassidus, many chassidus. And this is a very important point, that the whole purpose is not that the nefesh lekis itself do avodah. It's that the nefesh lekis should refine the nefesh bahamis. Yeah, we're in the middle over here, but we're going to stop. The point is like this, and this is sort of the takeaway lesson for today, is that we have to recognize, and we'll read a little more because it explains it very nicely now. Also, we can see this from the pasuk itself. What does it say after mikem? Name a carbon lavayim, a carbon to Hashem. But when that's when it says about bringing the mikem, we said there's nefesh lekis. When you use the nefesh lekis, you reach the level of havayim. But after it says in the pasuk, mina behema, mina bakim, mina tzayin, from the different types of animals, what does it say? Ne'emar l'ritzaynei lifnei havayim. As it's wanting, it's like it's accepted before havayim, which means lifnei v'nai l'havayim, even higher than havayim. Mishum shebir nefesh bahamis magil adaga nalis yaisim ka'amru v'retzvus k'Hashem. The nefesh bahamis makes you reach a higher level. When you don't have the nefesh, if you work just nefesh l'kiss, you're limited on your level. This is very similar to what we said last week, sicham, in the end. But what we're showing is that this nefesh bahamis, which is sort of the problem, is also the solution. Like it says, with many plows is with the power of the ox. Meaning, if you take the nefesh l'kiss, so to speak, and plow the fields, one time, and then it's finished. You can't do more than that. You take the nefesh bahamis, it's wild, it's a behemoth, it's an animal. We have these issues in our lives that are wild and it's used in the wrong way. But if we learn how to harness that energy, we can plow the field many times. We can do so much more. And without the nefesh bahamis, you're very limited. On the other hand, nefesh bahamis is the challenge. That's all the problems. So on one hand, nefesh bahamis brings the problems. On the other hand, it's also the solution. And to be continuing tomorrow, so the lesson we have to think about is where we're going wrong and how could we use that to advantage. You know, like let's say, like it says about the Yidden, that we are we're stiff-necked people, we're stiff, you know. And so on one hand, the Torah tells us about it in a negative, on positive. To look to realize in ourselves the issues in our lives, the negativity that we have, must be part of the positivity. We should learn how to transform it. Mitzvah Hashem to be continued tomorrow.